So, welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. In honor of the upcoming Memorial Day, let's take a moment of silence for those that have passed before us. Okay. Again, thank you for coming. My name is Ann Taylor-Garcia. A little bit about myself. I am a retired Army soldier with 25 years of service doing finance and budget. Now I transition to helping others with personal finances and changing their financial karma. In the chat, can you guys put down where everyone is coming from today? Where you guys joining us from?
San Antonio.
Cool. Indiana. All right.
South
Anyone
Carolina
else?
right now.
South Carolina. Hey, Stacy. Yep.
Hey,
San Diego. Oh, nice. South Carolina.
New Braunfels.
New Braunfels. Yep. Up there. Okay. Nice, nice. Okay, so let me see who's on here. I got Nate, Tina, Sheila. I have some people that are on iPhone, so I don't know who that is. Alethea, Brittany. If you're iPhone, please put down your name or put it in the chat. Matthew, welcome. Quentin, the hubby. Rachel, Stacy, Alita, and Tony. Okay, nice, nice. All right. So just so you guys know, it's going to be interactive today. It's not just me and Latricia talking. It'll be you guys participating also. Okay. So I see Quentin say joining from the couch. Okay, Marcella. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So for those returning from part one, welcome. And for those that are joining us for the first time, we're glad you're here today. Last session, we focused heavily on awareness, on our relationship with money, stress, habits, and emotional trigger. Today is different. Today is about systems. With me is Latricia Roberts, who's also a veteran and passionate about financial education too. Next slide.
So, welcome again, everyone. Thank you for joining us for part two. Like Ann, I too am a military veteran that served 26 years in the United States Air Force, and I transitioned after taking a 6-month break into financial education, where I now instill hope and make an impact into my local communities through financial education. Today, we are here to talk to you about part two, which is building a simple system to reduce that overwhelming stress that sometimes occur when we talk about finances. We're focusing, Nate, if you could go to the next slide. We're covering automated systems, high yield savings, simple investings, and personal financial systems. We're focusing on those practical tools that get and those realistic steps, not about perfection. If you leave with just one step or one improvement or outlook today, then we consider this webinar a success. So if you could put a 1 in the chat if you want to learn more about automated tools, put a 2 in the chat if you want to learn more about high yield savings, 3 if it's simple investing, or 4 if you want to learn how to build a personal system for your overall finances. All right, Bethany, 3 and 4, Matthew, 4. Anybody else?
Stacy,
I'm trying to.
Okay, I have iPhone 3 and 4. All of them sounds interesting. Rochelle? All right, we have a variety here. So this is going to make for interesting and, like me and Ann are hoping for, a very interactive conversation today. Ann, back to you.
Thank you, Latricia. As you can see, everyone's at different stages. Some want 1, 2, 3, 4, some all. So let's be honest. Part one shows awareness, but awareness and implementation are two different things. Progress is not always dramatic, right? Sometimes progress looks like finally checking your account, starting a budget, opening a savings account, or simply having the courage to face your finances. So, where are we? Progress or reality check? Please put that in the chat. Are you guys at progress, still working on yourself, or is there a reality check that you need to start working on? Progress, progress. Okay. From Rachel and Matthew. Progress. Okay, majority is progress. That's good. That's good. Okay. Next slide, Latricia.
Thank you. So Nate, go one more slide. So we're at the missing link. Let's talk about that missing link. Knowledge alone rarely changes our behavior. When we talk about awareness without action, that often leads to frustration. But when we build a system that removes the decision fatigue, willpower fades, but the system remains. Motivation is temporary. Systems builds sustainability over time. Willpower, think of willpower as holding your breath. Eventually, you're going to run out of steam, but the system is like breathing automatically. It becomes second nature. So that's what we want to do. We want to get rid of that missing link so it becomes automatic and second nature for us. Go to the next slide, Nate, and back over to you, Ann.
Thank you. Thank you. So without structure, progress depends on your mood, your memory, and motivation. Most people don't fail financially because they're lazy. They fail because life gets busy, decisions pile up, and everything depends on memory and motivation. That's exhausting, right? And exhaustion creates avoidance. How many of us have ever said, I'll deal with it later financially? Raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat. I can't see everybody, so I'll just look at the chat. Okay, Christina, Brittany, yes, quite a bit. I think almost all of us say, I'll deal with it later. But, managing money without system is like driving cross country with no GPS, no map, and no gas gauge. And right now we can't afford to do that with the price of gas, right? I see so many ones. Yeah, that's right. Okay, next slide, Nate. Thank you.
Let's talk about that stress and what happens when we build that system and it shifts. So the system interrupts the financial chaos that often happens. When we talk about the old system, stress leads to avoidance because we just don't want to deal with it, which often leads to poor decisions and stress. But when we build a system that gives us the clarity, the consistency that we want when it comes to our finances, and the confidence, the system interrupts that financial chaos. So, are you the individual that wants clarity? If so, put a 1 in the chat. Or maybe you want that consistency when it comes to your finances? If so, put a 2 in the chat. Or maybe you eventually want confidence, or maybe you want all three. If so, put a 4 in the chat. Matthew wants 1. Chanel wants 4. Sheila wants 4. All right. Thank you guys for participating. And over to you.
Thank you. Next slide, Nate. Thank you for helping us last minute though. Okay. So automation reduces mental fatigue. If every bill depends on memory, eventually something gets missed. Who here has ever forgotten a bill before? Raise your hand or put a 3 in the chat. Gotten a bill. All right. I see Matthew, Rachel. It's popping up. Chanel, Sheila, Brittany, Stacy. Yep. Pretty much almost all of us. Quentin, are you asleep? I don't see you in the chat. Christina, Tina, yes, 3. Okay. Yeah, I gotta put my husband out there. Make sure he didn't fall asleep. That we're not boring him to death. Oh, hiding. Okay. All right, got it. So a lot of us put a 3, and it happens to me too, you know. So automation creates stability and for bills to be paid, savings to grow, and fewer late fees, which means less anxiety, right? So peace often looks like bills being paid on time, saving growing quietly, fewer financial surprises, normalizing. Small steps equals big progress. Next slide. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're starting to shift things and we're talking about that money flow. Every dollar needs a direction or a place to go. When we automate our bills, it gives our money some direction or a place to go. Your money is like your employees if you're a business owner or if you are in charge of a supervisor. So if you don't assign them a job, then it just wanders around. They wander around with no direction. Bills need stability. Spending accounts leads to freedom, and your saving accounts builds towards a future. So could someone come off of mute and read the quote at the bottom?
I think you need to pick on someone.
Your money is like employees. If you don't assign jobs, it wonders.
Thank you, Alethea. So that's exactly what we want you to think of when we are talking about a system. We want you to assign it a job so it's not just wandering around and it has no place to go. Next slide, Nate, and back over to you, Ann.
Thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna pick on someone. Stacy, can you read the 3 automation tools? Okay, I'll pick on someone else. Virginia?
Yes. So the automation tools
Sorry.
YNAB and EveryDollar.
All right, thank you. And I'll pick on
And
you
I'm
later.
sorry, I couldn't figure out how to unmute from the chat screen and go back. I'm sorry.
No
My
problem,
phone, it's
no
really
problem.
small.
Hey, technical difficulties, we understand. So these tools are not magic, they're support system. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is visibility, right? So Mint, it tracks, is for tracking and awareness. It sees where your money goes, but it feels more reactive rather than proactive. YNAB, you need a budget. It's intentional budgeting. It gives each dollar a purpose. However, there's a monthly subscription. And if you're working on your budget right now it might not be the time to, get the subscription. Every dollar is mainly for first time budgeting. Maybe your kids can use this, they're college students. There's a free version, but it requires manual tracking. And who has time for that? So it just depends on what you want to use. So does anyone currently use a budgeting app? Please put it in the chat or just come off mute.
No.
No? Okay. No. All right. In part one, majority of the people that was on, they use Excel just like me. So, I'm not sure about using the app. Latricia, have you used any of the apps? Okay. Quentin say, my wife is my budgeting app. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, majority say no. All right, next slide. Oh, one say yes. PJ, is that you? She used, okay, Excel, got it. Yep, majority used Excel last time too. All right, back to you, Latricia.
Okay, so let's talk about automation in real life. Most of us have probably automated our bills at this point, but what about other areas? It helps us avoid late fees. Those late fees is helping us reduce that stress and giving us a peace of mind. Peace is about structure and adding structure to our daily lives. Automation helps reduce that stress, reduce the late fees, or forgetting about paying the bills. But it also releases that feeling of being overwhelmed. Think about automation. Who's like me where they love cooking or meal prepping so that they have the meals prepared for the week, or at least planning out the meals. Put a 1 in the chat if you like meal prepping. Virginia, yes, Virginia's with me. At least I have Rochelle's with me. Absolutely. Because it makes life easier, right? So think of automation like meal prepping for your finances. It makes life easier and it's pretty much on autopilot. All you got to do is just check it periodically, make sure that the expiration on those credit cards or that the accounts are up to date so that the automation can continue, but it takes care of everything and keeps it simple. So back over to you, Anne.
Thank you. Next slide. All right, let's breathe. Now, what is one thing you could automate this week? You can either unmute yourself and tell us or put it in the chat. What is one thing you could automate this week? Probably a credit card, a new credit card, something like that. I think I did it with my, not sure, my car registration. So that way they send it to me through email rather than a letter, and then I can get it done. Mortgage, yep. Chanel said mortgage. Subscription to annual rather than monthly. Sometimes it saves money, that's right. Most of your bills, I see. Yep. So the more you can do it, the better it is. Use AI for proofing memos. Okay. Yep. Work smarter, not harder, right? Okay. All right. Next slide. Latricia, back to you.
Thank you, Anne. So let's think about where our money lives and why that really matters. Now we're starting to compare traditional savings compared to high yield savings. because it impacts how your money is going to grow for you. If your money isn't growing or keeping up with inflation, it can quickly reduce the value over time. Think of this when we're talking about traditional versus high yield savings. Think of it, especially if you're a gardener like me and think of it as two plants. You can start them at the same time, but if you don't give them the same sunlight, the same amount of fertilizer, the same amount of sun, all those things that they need to grow, they're not going to grow exactly the same because the growth depends on their environment and everything that you're giving them that they need to thrive and grow. So keep the plant analogy in mind when you think of the traditional versus the high yield savings account. Back over, next slide, Nate, and back over to you, Ann.
Thank you, Latricia. All right, so this slide is about awareness, not chasing rates. Can you guys tell me what's the difference between the traditional and the high yield savings account? Kind of hard to pronounce. HYSA. You put in the chat, what's the difference between those two?
Risk.
What was that?
Risk.
Risk? Okay. Well, the difference is the interest rate and the growth. Okay. If you see there from the slide itself. Yes. Letha say compound interest amount. Yes. Okay. One has a lower interest rate and the other one is higher. No. Yep. That's right. So the point is where your money sits affects what your money does, right? If you put it under the mattress or a piggy bank, there is definitely no interest or growth. It just sits there until you're ready to use it. Whereas if you use traditional or high yield savings, there's a little, interest and growth to it. I see a piggy. Thank you, Virginia. How you did that on that's pretty neat. So growth may seem small initially, but consistency compounds, just like some of you guys have mentioned. So now Latricia will explain more about HYSA. Next slide.
So what is a high yield savings account? It can be used, most people use a high yield savings to give their emergency fund a jump start because nationwide, most traditional savings account earn less than a 1%, but most high yield savings account earns at least a 3% or higher. Majority of them can earn as high as 5%, depending on which bank you go with. High yield savings has higher interest rates, they're accessible, and they're ideal for building up your emergency fund quicker than a traditional savings account. They also make your money work for you versus against you. High yield savings accounts are accessible, they build on the liquidity, and they're designed for stronger growth versus the traditional savings account. So, with that being said, back over to you, Ann.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm trying to look at the slide. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. An emergency fund does more than protect money. It protects sleep, peace, and decision making. Without savings, everything becomes a crisis, right? So, what unexpected expense has stressed you out recently? Please put that in the chat. Was it the AC going out? Car or tire battery? Property tax that just popped up? What is it? I see foundation. Pet bills. Yep. Those are unexpected. Taxes. Yeah, we can't get away from taxes. Thank you, Brittany. Tires, Sheila. Yes. I just had my window the rock hit the car, so that was an expense that we didn't expect. Yep. Okay. That's right. Sometimes we need to prepare for it. Back to you, Latricia, and next slide.
So here's a few examples of institutions that offer high yield savings account. This is just a few. We can't endorse any particular companies, but if you want more than what you see on the slide, we do have a list of other institutions that are said to be some amongst the best high yield savings account. They don't require any minimum balances. They don't charge you to maintain a high yield savings account with them. We're more than willing to share it. We won't recommend any particular one to you, but we recommend that you do your own research to see which one best fits your needs for you and your family, and select the one that you see best suited for you and your family to meet your needs. Once you built up 3 to 6 months in your emergency fund, we recommend that you shift that money that you was putting in a high yield savings account into a retirement account or something, keeping what we talked about in part one, that 50-30-20 split, to something else, since it was funds that you wasn't used to spending. Use it for building up your retirement, further building up your retirement savings, or maybe putting it into a sink fund for vacations or whatever else that you have a desire to build towards. So that's the spill on the high yield savings. And this is just an educational example. Back over, next slide, Nate, and over to you, Anne.
All right. Thank you, Latricia. So how many of you guys do have a HYSA, high yield savings account? Put in the chat, because we're moving on to the next thing. I do have one with my bank, and I see one from Facebook for American Express. But like Latricia said, you want to do your research to see if it's worth it. Okay, just check around, see the different banks. Okay, Virginia has one, Synchrony, Capital One, Chanel. Okay, Sheila, not sure. We can talk more about that later, one-on-one if you want. Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Investing has been overcomplicated for many people. People hear investing and immediately think risk, confusion, gambling, and some just like, heck no, I'm not gonna try to invest. It's just too much of a risk for me. But long-term investing is about consistency and time. Investing is like planting a tree you may not sit under immediately, but it slowly grows. All right, next slide, Latricia.
Right. So why do most people avoid investing? It's like everything else in life. The number one reason most people avoid investing is because fear or maybe the lack of understanding. But could you guys put in the chat why you feel that maybe for yourself personally, you avoid investing in whatever it is that you've avoided investing, whether it's stocks or anything else, or even starting a high yield saving? So Alethea invests aggressively. Fear of losing money. Past mistakes of investing. All valid points. It's going to be different for every single person. But remember, investing, it's important that fear keeps many people stuck. But many people delay because they don't understand investing or because they lack the knowledge. But it all starts by understanding and gaining the knowledge. But it also starts by realizing that fear can either be a blessing or a curse, but taking the first step is always the most important part of overcoming the fear. Over to you, Anne.
Thank you. Thank you, Latricia. So you don't need to master everything today. Most people begin with workplace plans such as a 401k or 403b. For me, it was the TSP. When it came up, I just put a little bit in there. There's also a Roth IRA or index fund. Starting early or now matters more than starting perfectly. You guys agree or disagree? Let's put it in the chat. All right. Next slide. Back to you, Latricia.
Okay. So a little bit more about index funds. When we're talking about investing, diversification is the key. Lower risk, because that lowers the risk than putting all your eggs in one basket. The S&P 500 is a prime example. Instead of trying to pick one winning company, index funds allows you to participate in a broader market growth. Think of it as in when one tree falls, you still have a forest that's built stronger to protect your nest egg when you need it the most. Back over to you, Anne.
Thank you. Next slide. Yep, thank you. So automation matters here too. Consistent investing over time often beats emotional decision making. We know people who take out some money as soon as the market is going down, and then when they'll buy it when it goes back up. Is that good investment? Yes or no? Put it in the chat.
No.
I hear no. Okay. Nope. Bad. Nope. Okay. Regina, Otto, no, no. All right, so pretty much everyone say no. You guys passed the test. All right. The market rewards patience more than panic. Okay. Back to you, Latricia.
All right. The power of starting small. Remember, small actions compound over time. And that's what we want you guys to remember here today. It could be $25 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month, wherever your budget allows you to start or your paycheck allows you to start. Small, consistent actions often outperform occasional big efforts. Think of it as a snowflake. They slowly come down, but over time, it accumulates into something beautiful and wonderful over time. Or it could create an avalanche, but again, it snowballs into something bigger and larger over time. So remember, it's consistency beats intensity every single time. Back over to you, Anne. Next slide.
Thank you, Latricia. This is the entire workshop summarized. All right, I'm going to pick on Stacy again. Can you read the 3-system framework? Stacy, still there?
Got it. You just got to give me some time to find that mute button. Cash flow controls today. Protection protects tomorrow. Growth builds the future.
That's right. Do you guys agree or disagree? Please put it in the chat. Okay. Thank you, Stacy. All right, I see agree, yes, from Tina, Matthew, Sheila. Okay, thank you. Now Latricia will elaborate on it some more. Okay, next slide, Nate. I see.
Okay, so what happens when a system is missing? Your stress increases, your progression comes to a standstill, and your confidence drops. Have any of you ever felt that stress increase? If so, put a 1 in the chat. Have you ever felt like you're at a standstill when it comes to your finances? If so, put a 2 in the chat. Or if it's, well, Chanel says all of the above. Yes, I have too been there where I felt all three. But remember, without systems, your stress is going to increase. Without system, money can feel like you're carrying water in your hands and it gets heavy over time. But with the proper system in place, the stress reduces, the progress is slow. It may be slow, but it's effective. And then you build confidence over time. And that's the purpose of systems. And that's why we keep iterating certain things throughout this part 2 today, because we want you to understand it's the small steps. And like Anne says, makes for great progress. Back over to you, Anne.
Thank you, Latricia. All right, I'm going to pick on someone else. Elle, can you read the shifts with systems?
Just read what's on the slide.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you
What
for coming.
happens with, you're very welcome. What happens with systems, the shift? Clarity improves, stress decreases, confidence builds, and structure creates freedom.
That's right. Let's simplify it, right? So systems create emotional stability, and emotional stability improves financial decisions. Thank you. All right, next slide.
So here's a simple sample of how you can think about structuring things when it comes to your finances. You can do an income split between needs, lifestyle, savings, or investing. Can someone come off a mute that was in part 1 and tell us another way that we can divide our finances? I also mentioned it earlier, where we can divide it into what? Here's a hint, the 50-30-20 rule, which is what? 50% what? Virginia has slept since the last meeting. I understand. So it's 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% savings. So remember, structure creates intensity, intentional steps. Every dollar needs a direction so it doesn't become a distraction. And back over to you. Next slide, Nate.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you guys are not falling asleep for this one. It's a quiz. All right. Most people fail because they lack intelligence. True or false?
False.
False. Okay. That must be Tina. Anyone
Yeah.
else? False. Chanel. Okay, a lot of false. Okay, you guys are paying attention. That's good. So they fail because of overthinking, waiting too long, trying to be perfect, or fear of starting. But understand, perfectionism is procrastination wearing a suit. I see Quentin say, good thing I didn't answer. All right. All right. Thank you. Back to you, Latricia. You're awake.
All right. So, what's one move that you can make or that you can start? Put in the chat if, for those of you that don't have a high yield savings, that you can perhaps check into starting a high yield savings and opening up a high yield savings. Once you do your research and find out more about a high yield savings, put a 1 in the chat if that's one move that you can start with now. If you haven't automated your bills, put a 2 in the chat if you want to automate at least one of your bills. If you want to learn about investing and you want to start small with investing, put a 3 in the chat. If you want to track your spending for the next 7 days, put a 4 in the chat. So Sheila is 1 and 3. iPhone is 2, 3, and 4. Virginia is 4. Bethany is 1, 2, and 3. Matthew is 2 and 3. All right, we got some people that's planning to take some action. And again, remember, start small. Transformation happens through repeated small decisions, not giant moments. So thank you guys for committing to take that one small step, making that small decision, because that's what matters the most. And back over to you.
Does Alita has a question? I see a hand raised.
It's more of a comment. Just by chance today, I checked my savings account and I checked my checking account and I had it on automatic bill pay and I got a notification that the company or the bank was going to change my automation. I had it set to come out on the 1st for the majority of the bills to come out on the 1st, and it was modified without my direction to like 2 days before that. So I just want to caveat, automation is great, but you need to check automation so you don't come up short if they withhold the money before it's in the account.
Yes, yes, especially if you're, paycheck by paycheck. You want to make sure that the money's in there when bills are being paid. Thank you, Alita. Alita. All right. So, yeah, double check your automation. That happened to Quentin too. I know because I got one of those bills under my name. Okay, confidence doesn't come from knowing everything, it comes from having structure. Peace isn't the absence of bills, it's the presence of a plan. So, we can do automation all the time, but we also have to double check, right? And when you see a notice, don't just ignore it. You see those emails that say something, double check to make sure if it's a bill related, you definitely want to check to see what it is. Okay, due diligence. That's right, Quentin. Yep. Next slide. Back to you, Latricia.
So here's recommended reading. Education supports transformation. So pick a book that speaks most to you for where you are right now. Get Good with Money is for people that want to find more out about how money works. Your money and your life is good for individuals that want to find out more about transferring their relationship with money. The automatic millionaire are for individuals that want to develop a system or a plan with money. And for people that want to start learning about the basics of investing, the little book of Common Sense Investing is a great start. The QR code, if you scan the QR code, it will take you to the Google Drive and you can get the PDF version of 3 of the 4 books on the screen. But you can also use Libby, your public library, Audible, if you're not a reader and you like to listen to the books. That's a great source as well. But that's the way you can download it if you want the PDF version. And we can also email it to you if you reach out to myself or Ann if you missed this QR code. Okay, next slide. And also an additional book that's not listed is The Financial Feminist. And that's if you want to understand your relationship or how you think about money, that's another book that's not on the screen. Back over to you, Ann.
Thank you, Latricia. Who loves books? Raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat. Okay. So this is free books. Well, some of them are. Some like Get Good With Your Money, that you have to find your own. And it's not free. Other ones will be able to help you get a free version. Okay. I want to thank you for joining this 2-part transformational journey with us so far. We covered emotional connection. That's more on part 1. Problem awareness, system introduction, real tools, confidence building, and simple actions. Did this seem simple to you guys? Do you think you guys can start somewhere with this information today? Put a 1 in the chat if you do. Okay. Yes. Mel. Okay. iPhone. Brittany. Yes. Matthew. Sheila. Virginia. Thank you. Thank you. So this was not about perfection. This was about creating awareness, systems, and simple momentum. All right. Back to you, Latricia. Next slide, Nate.
Thanks, Ann. So remember, peace with money happens with intention. Money continues to rank as the #1 stressor for Americans. But even small systems like an emergency fund or automation, but remember, like Anithia and Ann said, you want to check out of sight and out of mind can lead to other problems as well. So you want to periodically check, can reduce stress and improve your confidence. Our financial wellness reviews are designed to help you organize, identify some gaps that you may not be aware of, and to create a simple plan that fits your individual goals. No pressure, just education, a conversation, and guidance and clarity. Again, thank you guys for identifying that one thing that you're going to put into action, because that's that one important step that meets your individual need. Again, you can scan the QR code if you want that personal one-on-one financial review. But again, no pressure. Information creates awareness, but application creates transformation. Thank you guys for joining us today. Next slide, Nate.
All right, this is actually the last slide. So after this, we're good to go. So as we close today, remember this. Financial confidence is built through small, consistent actions, not perfection. Money continues to rank as one of the top stressors for Americans, but studies show that even small systems like emergency savings and automation can reduce stress and improve confidence. Today was about moving from uncertainty to structure and clarity. And if you realize you need support building your system, that's okay, that's progress. Our financial wellness review are simple are simply designed to help you organize, identify gaps, create simple plans that fit your goals, and there's no pressure, just education, guidance, and clarity. Because peace without money doesn't happen by accident. It happens with intention. As a wise person told me, it doesn't matter how much you make, but how you spend it. Thank you for spending your time with us today and investing into yourself. We truly appreciate you being part of this conversation. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you for coming, Tina, and bringing brought
Matt.
Matthew on. Yep. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
well, I
you.
hope you have a great weekend this weekend.
Yes, definitely. Well, with the rain, we'll see. Thank you for hopping
Okay.
on, Matthew. Mhm. Do you
Bye.
guys have anything that you want us to cover later? I know last time we talked about budgeting and what was the other one? Investing, right? With real estate. So we'll add that to our list of stuff to try to give classes for in our monthly financial education. Okay.
Okay. Bye.
We'll have another one, Stacy, for the real estate. I'll let you know. Anything else you guys want to add? Okay. That's it. All right. Have a good day.
Oh,
Thank
I was
you.
trying to unmute. What did you guys talk about with real estate?
It was was it Latricia? Was it with Joel? Did the real estate?
Oh, no, so it was supposed to be it was real estate investors, how they can, instead of using the 1031, how they can save on their taxes in other ways versus the 1031. But we do have another one coming up next month where we're having a guest speaker, a real estate agent talking to first-time home buyers.
Okay. I will see you guys then.
Yeah.
Righty.
So just look at our Facebook, LinkedIn, where else we put our information. But we usually have once a month education. This time we just had two because we want to do part one, part two for the mental health awareness. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I
Bye-bye.
have one for the 529s. Can you put that on your list for the 529 education funds?
529. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, that will be covered later in June as well.
Okay.
Because Nate will be hosting one about college.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, PJ. I think some people might have a hard time logging off too.
I'm still on mute. Okay, I'm unmuted. Hey, thank you for the training. I'm driving right now, so I had to stop at the stop sign. But I just
No
want to say thank
problem.
you.
Thank you for
It was
hopping
great.
on. Thank
Of
you.
course. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.